In the previous episode, we set off from Calgary in Alberta, Canada, and spent a week driving through the stunning Rocky Mountains before ending our trip in Vancouver, British Columbia, and catching a train back into the United States to Seattle in Washington. We arrived in town late and spent the night in the city. While we waited for our hire car in the morning, we had a quick walk around to check out the CBD. We had this feeling that by visiting Canada so early in our holiday, it'd make a lot of our following exploits, kind of subpar, but oh how wrong we were. Every national park we visited in the States not only equally surprised us with just how diverse and raw they were, but the emotions associated alongside each of them were so strong that we had no choice but to be 100% present in every moment. So at no stage we fell into that mindset where you're thinking, this is alright, but that other place was way better. Do you get me? First up was obviously Mt Rainier, which I didn't have huge expectations for, but again, how wrong I was. This place was totally stunning, starting from the incredible drive over the hills and through the forest. We spent a couple of nights outside the park in a little town called Packwood, so we got the gremlin up nice and early and headed back in for sunrise. After exploring around Paradise for a bit, we went for a walk to check out Myrtle Falls, only to find a black bear a few hundred metres in. Now I won't lie, the concept of bears scares the absolute crap out of me. I mean, people say everything in Australia can kill you, but at least if you stay on land, nothing's gonna maul you to death. Because to me, anything that can eat me alive is a big no-no. But when I saw some deer walking around without flinching, I manned up a tad and realised they're just big little balls of fluff that want to eat berries all day and sleep half the year. I reckon my little Pomeranians could take this out with ease. After another night in Packwood, we jumped across the Columbia River into Oregon and stayed in Portland. Now, I'm not having a stab at Portland alone. This is more of an observation from all cities we visited along the coast, as it was a recurring theme. But I witnessed more homeless people in a single night in Portland than I have throughout my entire life combined in Melbourne, and Melbourne has a population 8 times the size. Obviously this isn't breaking news, and I don't know the politics behind it, but clearly something in the system is broken and needs tending to. Anyway, enough of that, let's move on. From there, we checked out Multnomah Falls, and it was like stepping onto the set of a Lord of the Rings film. What a stunning place. We hit the road again and stopped in Eugene for a bathroom break. Plus I got some trusty Subway and a foot-long cookie. Oh, come on Australia, pick up your game. After that we headed inland to Crater Lake. We stayed in Fort Klamath before getting up early for Haley's 35th birthday, where we watched a breathtaking sunrise over Crater Lake. Even though we're only here for a couple of hours, like so many other places, it really left a mark on us. I'd seriously love to return one day and do some hiking. Actually, same goes for Mt Rainier. We had breakfast at the lodge on the lake shore, visited our 15th gift shop and headed off. Next stop, we crossed back into California and set off to explore the Redwoods. We stopped at the Grove of Titans for our first stroll through these ancient beasts. These trees are absolutely huge, like mammoth big, and I'm sure if you ask anyone who's tried, capturing the true perspective of these enormous trees is quite the mission. I believe I did an okay job, but nothing beats the real deal, because these are freaking monsters. We stayed in Crescent City for a couple of nights, and while we were there, we took Isla to check out Ocean World, which is actually pretty cool for the hour-long show that it was. We planned on using this place to explore the surrounding groves, but after our second night, we weren't too happy with the accommodation and the area in general, so we bailed and pushed further down the coast. Overall, the Californian coast was an absolutely beautiful drive, and well worth the long haul through a hell of a lot of nothingness further up north. We spent the night in Fort Bragg and checked out a place called Glass Beach. Yes, this is actually real glass. Back in the day, some switched-on council member thought it was a good idea to dump truckloads of glass into the ocean right here. It still looks pretty cool these days, even if most of it's been removed by tourists. On the way down, we stopped in a not so well-known grove that didn't have a single soul about. It was seriously something special. After 2 weeks of endless driving on the wrong side of the road, we were pretty burnt out, so we decided to beeline it back to Napa for a few days of well-earned rest. Next up, we hopped on another flight, but this time it was to the infamous City of Lights. However, this is not your typical hangover-style Sin City visit, as we had a 3-year-old along for the ride. It's still a pretty cool experience as a massive culture shock from the moment you step off the plane.
Geese. So that's it, right? Geese. Geese go, geese. Geese go, geese.